Good morning, everybody. It is, I think it, isn't it? Yeah, it's 9/2/2020. Okay, we're making it, you guys. A couple of things that I think are really important. Make sure that you're putting your assignment on Canvas so I can see it. And that's one way for me to count you as present. And also, on the non-Zoom days, don't forget there is a warm-up on the non-Zoom days that you need to do so I can count you present. It's just super easy. Do that, and then don't forget to do the assignment. Watch the YouTube video, which is what this is. Okay, so today's objective, what we're going to do is talk about graphing linear equations. Right? So linear equations or linear functions. So if it's linear, it's got to be straight. It's got to be a straight line. It doesn't bend, it doesn't curve, it goes straight. Now we did this last year, so hopefully this is a nice review of what we did last year. So if it is a linear function, then we like to use the equation y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. Okay, so the slope of a line is the symbol m, and it's going to be whatever number is right there. And we like to really look at it as a fraction, because slope is rise over run, right? Okay, slope is rise over run. That's why we like it as a fraction, okay? As an example, if I have y equals 2/3 x minus 4, okay, if I had to graph that line, again, this should be a nice review of what we did yesterday, so if I want to graph that line, hopefully you guys remember how to do this. If not, let's see if you can remember it now. Start at -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's called the y-intercept. So the b is called the y-intercept. Start at -4 on the y-intercept, and then go from there. My slope, rise over run, is up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, and there's my line. Okay, so there's a nice little review of what we should have learned last year. Ta-da! No problem. Okay, now correlation coefficient. Well, sometimes it looks like a line. Let's look at example 1. Looks like a line, but it doesn't quite line up. So it's not perfect. And if it was perfect, we'd say it's a perfect line, but it's not. It's pretty close to a nice straight line, but the points are off a little bit. So if I try and draw in my line right like this, it's off by a little bit. So correlation coefficient is the symbol R. And if it's a perfect line going uphill, we say R is 1. That means 100% of the points line up. This one's off by a little bit. So we'd say the correlation, we're just going to guess. And then later on we're going to have a calculator do it for us. I'm going to say that the correlation coefficient might be 0.9. Okay, because that's a pretty good fit. Now we're just going to guess. You just have to be close. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Now, so let's look at these. So that one's pretty straight too. This one's pretty good, maybe not quite as good. I might say this correlation coefficient might be R equals maybe, I'm just guessing, 0.85, right? It's not perfect. This one goes downhill. This one goes down, so its correlation coefficient might be, it's going down, so it's going to be negative. So the R, this R is going to be negative because it goes down. Maybe 0.8, I don't know. I'm just going to give it a guess, 0.8, okay? Now, if there's absolutely no correlation, it doesn't look like you can get a line in here. So this R is going to be closer to 0, okay? So correlation coefficient is when all the points line up perfectly and nice, we'd have a 1. But if they're off a little bit, it's going to be close to 1. It's going downhill, the correlation coefficient says, hey, no, they're close, but in this case, it's a negative 0.8. That's just a guess. There's no correlation at all. We'll say the R, the correlation coefficient, is 0. Okay. Again, we're going to learn how to do this on the calculator tomorrow. So let's go to example 1. Okay. So I need the equation of this line. So what I'm going to do is pick any 2 points that are going to work. I like this point here because it's on my line, and maybe this point right here. Okay. So this point here, I'm going to guess as 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. This point right here, I'm going to guess as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like it's up 1. Okay, so let's go back and do a little review of what we learned last year. So first of all, let's find the slope, m. So how do we find slope? Another way is our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Put that in your notes, please, or your interactive journal. Put that in there somewhere. Make sure you have the slope formula. It's called the slope formula. Okay? So, let's do the slope of this line. This is my first point, x1, y1. This is my second point, x2, y2. x2, y2, this is my second point, okay? So to find slope of this one, we're going to go 1, that's y2, minus negative 5, over 6 minus a negative 4, okay? y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, okay? So double negatives plus plus, double negatives plus plus, so I end up with 6 over 10, which is about 6/10 or 0.6, okay? So that's my slope, okay? And then I can see that my line goes through right about here, so my y-intercept is about 1, 2, maybe 2 point, I'm going to guess 2.2, maybe negative 2.2. So I'm going to go with an equation of y equals 6/10 x plus about 2.2, or y equals, if I made that into a decimal, 0.6x plus 2.2, okay? Alright, there's my equation of that line. Correlation coefficient, I would guess, to be about 0.9, okay? We'll let the calculator do this for us tomorrow. We'll figure out how the calculator does it. For today, we're going to do it by hand. Okay, example 2. Okay, so example 2, we actually have a graph. Alright, it looks to me as if it crosses at, let's see, 10. I'm going to say maybe 15. I'm going to say that's about 15 for the y-intercept. And the slope, let's see, the slope is rise over run. So, it seems like it rises 10, so the slope, rise of 10, run of 2. Rise of 10, run of 2, so my slope is 5. My y-intercept is 15. So the equation I'm going to use is y equals 5x plus 15. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do though is make this equation instead of x and y. Let's just use different variables. Okay. Weight. Let's use instead of y. Let's go weight, or w equals 5, and a for age, 5a plus 15. Better equation because we have variables like weight, because that's what it is, and age. Okay. So what does the slope mean? What is the slope? Instead of just 5, what does it really mean? Well, it means that you're basically growing 5 pounds per year, right? I mean, think about it. You're going up 10 pounds in 2 years, so you're going to be gaining 5 pounds in 1 year. Slope in words is going to be 5 pounds per year. Because slope needs to mean something, not just x's and y's, but what does it mean? It means 5 pounds per year. So in 2 years you gain 10 pounds, so in 1 year you gain 5 pounds. Okay. Now domain. We talked about domain before. Domain and range. So the domain is age. The domain is age greater than or equal to 0, right? So you're born and then you grow, right? Then the range is a weight. Range is a weight of greater than or equal to 15. Okay? So far, so good. All right, let's look at the second page. Okay, example 3. Another kind of example. Okay, what's the equation of this graph? Remember, we're going to have, first of all, let's figure out what the slope is. So it looks like we're going down 11 for every 4. Okay, down 11 for every 4. Going to go down 11 for every 4. It's got to be negative because you're going down, right? You're going downhill. It's a negative slope because the line's going down. Negative 11, so you go down 11 for every 4. The y-intercept is right here at 20. Okay, so my b is 20. So my equation would be Let's go y equals negative 11 force x plus 20. Except, let's think about this, okay? Let's think about this. What I need is, instead of y and x, let's make some words like bread, loaves, number of loaves, and cups of flour. So I'm going to go, better words, I'm going to say loaves. So I'm going to go L equals negative 11 fourths cups plus 20. Okay, there you go. Okay, what does slope mean? Okay, it means that you're running out of flour, right? It means that you're using cups. So bread, so it means you're going to have 11 loaves of bread for every 4 cups of flour. So we're going to do 11. We're going to 11 loaves for every 4 cups. Okay. So the slope in words is always going to be the y with the x. Okay, domain and range. Domain is 0 to, looks like about 7 cups. Looks like it's going to be 0 is less than or equal to cups, which might be less than or equal to 7. Range is your y value. Looks like you're going to have from 0 is less than or equal to bread loaves, greater than or equal to 20. You're not going to have any more than 20 loaves, okay? Hopefully this is making some sense. All right, last but not least, find the equation that models the number of concert tickets sold with respect to the number of days. So for me, if I can graph it, it sure helps a lot, but this one's kind of hard. So what I'm going to do is probably try and come up with an equation, okay? So let's pick 2 points. Here's my 2 points. I've got a point at 376, and I got a point at 764, okay? All right, one more time. Let's go through and find my slope. Slope formula, y2 minus yx. So I've got my x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, again, I'm going to use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to set up for my slope m equals, we'll go 164 minus 76 over 7 minus 3. Okay. And let's see, what's 164? 164 minus 76 is 88 over 4, which is obviously 22. So my slope is 22. Now I need to know my y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is go back to my equation, y equals mx plus b. Okay, I'll show you why. I need to find b. I need to find b. Find b. Okay, got an equation. I have a slope. So let's put 22 there. I've got an x and a y, right? That's an x, and that's y. Let's put an x there and put a y there, and we can find out what the b is. Okay, and we did this again last year. So let's put 76 here for my y value. Let's put 22 here for my slope, because I just found that. And let's put my 3 here for my x value, and we should be able to solve for b. Okay, well, I got 76 equals, what's that, 66? Yep. So I got 66 plus b. I'm going to go minus 66 from both sides, and I'm going to get 10, right? So my equation, you ready, is y equals 22x plus 10. That's my equation. But let's change it to better words. So I got tickets sold equals 22 d for days plus 10. There you go. Okay, so your assignment, I've got it down as, hold on, double check this. Make sure this is exactly what I want you to do. I've got an extra in there, page 37. Give me a second, double check on this. Got 1 through 7 all yes, and then I'll put some kind of an extra in there for you. Okay, that's it.